Hey everyone, this is Dr. Sandy, and today I'm going to be talking about how stress affects the body. If you're watching for the first time, my name is Dr. Sandy. I'm a doctor of chiropractic, been practicing now over 20 years, done over 300,000 adjustments. Me and my team have won multiple awards, top chiropractor in Mississauga, top chiropractor in Peel region, because I am obsessed with one thing. We want to get results. We want to change people's lives so they can live better, enjoy themselves on a personal level, professionally, everywhere. Everyone deserves to have a quality of life, and it starts with a healthy nerve system. If you've been watching for some time, welcome back. I really appreciate your coming back. I hope you're learning every time. And these are concepts where sometimes it'll be new to concepts. Sometimes I'll come back with things I've discussed before, but I think every time you get exposed to something, you learn something. You might see it from a different angle. Even if the information's similar, depending on where you're at, you may pick up different things. And I just hope every time you're watching, you're learning and you're growing. So let's jump into it. So stress is huge. It's something that in the short term actually helps the body. So maybe when you're temporarily stressed and you have that boost of energy, you're able to accomplish something. Physically, when we're stressed and we're lifting something, that energy can help us. The problem is when stress becomes a long-term thing. When that stress is over time not shutting off, chronically there, that will actually cause a breakdown in the body. And a good analogy is much like if you think about your car, it has a capacity to go to a higher speed. We can look at the RPMs, the revolutions per minute, but if we keep it at that high level constantly for like hours and hours, someone's driving really fast and they're redlining, it can break down the engine. It's just too much. So temporarily, it's helpful if someone needs to go on the highway, they're trying to avoid a car, I understand. But if they're chronically running at a red line, it's much like the human body. The car will break down, the human body breaks down if there's chronic stress. So we have to be very mindful of that. And I think if you look at most research, and most doctors would agree that stress is probably one of the biggest causes of so much health problems, breakdown in the body on so many levels. Yes, there are people who get traumas and accidents and things like that, and I respect that. But again, for most people, that chronic stress, look at the times we live in. So people, I feel, are working harder. People have personal stress, maybe at home, maybe they have financial stress. There could be stress, at work, just keeping up with all the deadlines and everything. And it's just a very intense time. Then even when you come home, you want to make sure your family's okay, the kids are okay, the spouse is okay. It just feels like we're constantly on the go. And, I think short term, as I said earlier, like, yes, it makes sense, but long term, again, it causes that damage to the body. So what are some of the signs and symptoms of stress that we could see? So we could see things like the sleep not being good quality. You could actually feel tired and still not fall asleep, or it's a broken sleep. We could see things like trouble with focusing, trouble with memory. You're having to read something again and again. These are signs of stress. If it gets bad enough chronically, we can see things like headaches or migraines. If you talk to people who have those histories, they'll usually say, yes, when I'm exposed to stress, I might get headaches or migraines. We might see things like just feeling generally anxious. The heart rate can go up. We can also, obviously, I've seen this as well, as when someone is stressed, if they have a sore part of their body or where they usually have pain, it can cause inflammation there. It can cause more pain in the body, stiffness in the body. We can also see things that if they're chronically stressed, they might also start to feel tired. They just want to kind of stay in bed all day. Maybe they're just sluggish. They don't have that extra energy. It can also start to affect things like digestion. So this could be things like acid response, maybe gas, bloating, constipation. It could also be a situation where they're just not at that level they should be. So everything feels like an effort because they're chronically stressed. So this could be obviously at work, not performing your best. This could be at home, just not having the energy to clean or to participate with the family or things like that. And then the next thing that happens from there is that, how do we manage it? So some people might look at things like medication, if they have trouble sleeping, if they're chronically under stress and they're having pain, they might use painkillers, anti-inflammatories, things like that. And even if it could be on the natural side, so maybe they need a natural supplement they're taking to deal with pain, or maybe a natural supplement to deal with sleep or something like that. Or, if you're chronically stressed and you're running low on energy, you might be even looking for an energy drink, or you need more coffee. Some people might also resort to, drinking alcohol. Maybe they smoke. Maybe they're, eating more, eating less. Like, a lot of things get affected, and there's different ways. We're all different how we manage stress. On a more positive side, some people might start to meditate and do exercise or go for walks, be in Mother Nature, which I think are beautiful things. But where I think there's something that could be that missing link, that missing piece that could just really help people overall if they are stressed out, is the neurology, the nervous system. So looking at the nervous system, if we look at the human spine, it basically is your power center. So the brain is this incredible computer running everything, regulating everything. And as long as those messages can get through the spine and to the different muscle groups and to the organ groups, everything's working the way it should. But if any of those messages are blocked or affected, and specifically what I'd like to talk about is that if those messages have too much overstimulation, it can lead to chronic stress and symptoms and breakdown in the body. So if we actually look at the nervous system, I'm going to kind of generalize, but there's something called the parasympathetic system, which is kind of rest and digest. So we want to have the body more relaxed. So that's going to be more at the top of the spine and at the base of the spine. So this would be more when you feel calm, relaxed. And in chiropractic, when we can balance the spine and activate more of the parasympathetic, the body's more again in a rest and digest and healing state. Whereas more, I'm kind of generalizing, but more in the middle of the spine, you'll see something called the sympathetic. And the sympathetic is going to be more stimulation. So this is like, stimulating the muscles, the organs. And the thing is, if you actually look at the human body, you need both. You need times of sympathetic when there's something to do, you got to get up and move and work. Then there's a time for parasympathetic where you need to rest and relax and digest and those kind of things. And what I love about chiropractic, it's constantly just trying to balance these systems. Now, the reality is most people in today's time in 2024, when they show up to the chiropractor, they're stressed out. Most people are stressed out. And like I said, I mean, personally, professionally, just on so many levels, the family life, their job. Even if you're listening to this and you're a student, or you have a child who is a student, or you're studying or anything like that, those could be stressful events. So most people are more in a sympathetic state, and then we see all these problems. They're tired. They might even, in extreme cases of stress, maybe shortness of breath, things like that. So we want to just balance the system. So what we do in chiropractic is we look for areas where there's misalignment or stress on the system. We want to balance the system and just let that power flow. We want to let that power from the brain to body, body to brain. We want that flow to be balanced. We want it to be in harmony, and then the body can work the way it should. Because really, here's the big thing I love about chiropractic. The whole premise is that you are supposed to be healthy. You're supposed to be functioning at a very high level. And what we need to do is align the spine, maintain it, and then keep you healthy throughout life. Because what can happen is if you do not take the time to take care of your body, to take care of your health, you may believe that as you get older, you start to have some aches and pains, and you're kind of like, well, that's what's supposed to happen, Someone might even think like, oh, I'm in my 30s and 40s, and that's what's supposed to happen. And I'm like, wow, like if you are not having good health at those age levels, what's going to happen in the 50s, 60s, and 70s? Like, you need to invest in your health, take care of yourself. Of course, you need to eat good and you need to move, and those things are critical. But one thing I find in healthcare in general that needs more attention is focusing on the nervous system, focusing on brain health, focusing on the spinal cord. These are the master systems of the body. And I was even researching the heart, of course, is this incredible pump. It's putting blood throughout the body. Of course, it's a critical organ. But man, the brain is running the show. The brain is running everything. It's kind of like this big conductor. It's like the massive computer, running and making sure, is the heart okay? Is the stomach okay? Is everything working in sequence? It's doing all these, multiple type of computations every second, like probably tons and tons of these. And it's computing things, and it's analyzing, and it's looking at the environment. And we want to make sure that that nerve system, that computer is working the way it should at optimal levels. Much like phones or computers, they need to update the software. There's new versions that come out. You want to make sure your software that's running the system is at peak efficiency. Is it working at the highest level, or is it compromised? And then we start to tell ourselves stories that, like, I'm getting old because I'm in my 30s or 40s. This is the way it's supposed to be. Maybe you start to believe different things like, oh, my mom had this, my dad had this, and now I have this. And I can understand there's obviously a genetic side to things, but let's maximize what's in our hands. Even if there's some health problems that run in the family, I think we can all agree that if that person exercises with good nutrition, let's maximize the situation. And maximizing the situation also means maximizing nerve health. We want to make sure the nerve system is as strong as possible so you can be the best for you and you can age with grace and not just fall apart and feel like, running from health crisis to health crisis. And of course, I think emergency medicine is great. It saves people. But what about just the day-to-day, just that quality of life, living with vigor, living with vitality, not accepting a low level of health and saying, you know what, I want to have the best level of health possible. I want to be as strong as possible. And I want to tell you another thing when it comes to stress. Some people are like, I just got to learn how to not get stressed. Or if someone is stressed out, they'll talk to their friends or someone. They're like, yeah, just don't be stressed anymore. And I'm always like, when I hear that, it's like, it's not like a switch, and the great thing is when you have a healthy nerve system, when the spine and the nerve system is strong, it doesn't mean you won't have stress, but you will respond better and you will be in a better state and not get overwhelmed. I think that's the word I'm really looking for. When you are chronically under stress, the nerve system gets overwhelmed and then it doesn't operate efficiently. And now you're tired, there's pain, there's headaches, you're not working the way it should. And all we're doing in chiropractic is balancing the system, balancing one of the most important critical systems in the body, which is your nervous system, which the spinal cord is basically an extension coming out of the brain. And we're just saying, let that work properly from the top of the spinal cord to the base of the spinal cord so every system in the body can work well. All the organs, that energy you're supposed to have, the good sleep, feeling your best, focusing clearly. These are all things that if we can maintain the spine, maintain the spinal cord, maintain neurological health, we can experience it. But if we neglect it, the body can fall apart. While exercise and nutrition are amazing, meditation are good things, if we are not taking that pressure off the spine, we will not get the full value out of exercise. We will not get the full value out of nutrition. We will not get the full value out of meditation because we need to have proper alignment so the power can flow in the body and to have an amazing quality of life, because that's what it's all about, and not just using things to kind of numb it. Whether it's a painkiller, whether it's alcohol, whether it's smoking, or whether it's eating food, let's not just numb things and, cover things up. Let's address it. Let's give our body the best chance possible to be healthy, neurologically, working with the system that runs the show, keeping the brain, the body healthy, the regular chiropractic, neurological focused chiropractic, so you can have an amazing quality of life. So I hope this video again made sense. There are things we can do to take care of ourselves. You are powerful. You just need to take action, and then you can have the life you want. So if you enjoy the video, please give us a thumbs up, subscribe, share, leave a comment. That'd be great. If you have any questions, you can reach out to us at the office at 905-896-3393. You can text us, you can call us, you can visit us on the web at gopowerflow.com or drbhasin.com, drbhasin.com, or gopowerflow.com. And if you're ready to book a checkup to see if we can help you, I call it a 7-point spinal checkup, where there's 7 major things, major indicators we're looking at to see how the spine is doing. Again, text or call us at 905-896-3393. We'd love to do the checkup to see if we can help you or not. And I think everyone deserves to have a great life, neurologically, healthy brain, healthy spinal cord, healthy mind and body. And it starts with chiropractic, getting that checkup and seeing what we can do so you can have the best life possible naturally as much as we can. So God bless you. I hope this video inspired you, and I will see you again.